Hi. Okay. Happy Wednesday. Welcome, everybody. Here we are for our little noon get-together. Kind of sticking with this shorter class version. This is always designed to just keep us right in the confines of the noon hour. And then, of course, if you're practicing this at some other time of day, great. Take your time with it. Slow it down. A lot of the things that we do, you could really just pause and stay in postures longer if you needed a little bit more time with them. Today, we are going to focus on just kind of a nice, good, deep stretch, but we will move. We will definitely build kind of a stretchy flow is what I guess I'd like to call that, because we're not going to completely surrender into a yin practice or a restorative. There will be some definite movement, but just all around feel good immunity booster. I've been teaching a lot of those lately, and it seems like what people have been wanting. So definitely enjoy this one. And we are going to get going right away. Remember that everything we do is really designed to be approachable for anyone at any time. So if I don't give you the modification that you're looking for, don't be afraid to move your body around a little bit, get yourself comfortable so that you can enjoy the postures, because no matter what some folks might have you think, yoga is not meant to be a torture chamber of hell, and you should not want to run away from your yoga practice. It should be a place where you feel safe and you feel like you really can let your guard down a little bit. So let's start off this morning or this afternoon, whichever way you look at it, in a nice big child's pose. We're going to take the hips back, drop the chest down, drop the forehead down, whatever you can get close to the ground. Good. And if things are a little resistant or tight, that's okay. Know that you have nothing but the opportunity to soften up as we continue on. So be all right with the idea that yoga is a process. Just like everything else in life, it's going to take a little bit of time to really start to feel the desired effect. Like most things that are worth waiting for, be patient with your body, be patient with your brain. It might take a couple moments for the thoughts in your mind to just slow down and quiet down. You can help that process along by just turning up the volume of your breath. Literally start to drown out the thoughts in your mind with some deep, smooth, steady, satisfying breaths. In and out. And that's all we're going to do here for about the next minute. Is just pay attention to the breath. Feel the rise and fall of your body. All right. When you start to notice that change the shift of energy. Things have slowed down. You feel a little bit more comfortable just being right here on your mat. And that's the time that you start to move. Start to come deeper into your practice. On a great big inhale, shift yourself up onto all fours. We're going to keep the big toes together, the knees wide apart. I've been teaching this intro a lot lately because it feels really good and seemingly everyone likes it. So if it's not broken, right, don't fix it. Big toes together. As you shift your weight forward, you're just going to walk your hands out a couple steps so that you really got enough space to just let your belly drop. My toes are behind me and lifted up, and I'm drawing them together and toward my tailbone. And then I can kind of take a little heart stretch there as well. Good. On your exhale, lift from your belly button, push all the way back. Just tap the chest, the forehead, whatever you'd like down on the mat. Couple more times. Inhale. Once you've planted your hands, don't move them. Just keep that same nice wide stretch through the upper body. Exhale. Press back. If it hurts your knees to do this, you can throw a blanket down, or you can just rock up to the hands and knees and rock back. You don't have to go all the way over, but try to roll past your kneecap so that you're actually on the bottom of your thigh, the lowest part of your thigh, and not right on the cap of the knee. Exhale, press back. Good. We'll do one more like that, and then we're going to add another movement in. Inhale, come up. Good. Tilt your head back. I always say, think about the day when your toes touch the crown of your head. Whether or not it happens in this lifetime makes no difference, but that'll help get you moving in the right direction. And then exhale back. This time, when your hips hit your heels, inhale, come on up and just sit back on those heels. Keep your knees nice and wide. You're going to put your hands back behind you, just a couple inches. Okay? So I'll turn to the side, you stay where you're at. Hands behind, and then lift your heart up, drop your head back, and take your booty up off your heels and just stretch the whole front of your body open. Stay with that for 3. These big chest expansion, heart opening postures are so good for this time of year. With your head dropped back, you might feel that your nasal passages clear out a little bit. You got an inversion happening. Your head is technically lower than your heart right there. Good for the brain. Good for the immune system. Drop it back down and then just rock your weight forward. You go right back into that child's pose, right? Hands out in front. Okay. We're going to put all of those movements together and then we'll keep adding. Inhale, shift your weight up. Lift your toes behind you, tilt your head back, drop your belly, drop your chest. Exhale, press all the way to child's pose. Hips hit the heels, then you're going to inhale, roll up, slide your hands just behind you, and on your exhale, lift your heart, your hips, drop your head back and breathe. Slowly lower. Take it forward, back to child's pose, and exhale completely. Inhale, shift your weight up to your palms. Tilt your head back, breathe. Exhale, pull from your navel, right? You're using your core, Uddiyana Bandha. Press back to child's. Take it up. Hero, Virasana, half camel, Ardha Ustrasana. That's the back bend. Drop it back to Virasana and down to Balasana, child's pose. One more time, inhale forward. This is a version of Urdhva Mukha Shavasana, that's upward dog with this sort of bent knee version. Sometimes this posture is called seal pose. You think about that seal whose tail is up behind and they're balancing a little ball on their nose, right? And then exhale, press it back. Good. Last time we'll sit up tall, hands behind, knees stay wide, lift your heart, drop your head back, hang in there and breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth if you can. Just in this posture, that might feel good. 2 and 1. Exhale completely. Good. As you rock forward this time, swing your knees together. Plant your hands in front of you, tuck your toes, and we'll come on to our first downward facing dog. Like I said, we're going to add a few more things into this warm-up now. From the down dog, Stretch the backs of the legs, adding a gentle bend to your knees, a little swivel of your hips, whatever it takes to get things moving here. Good. Keep working your way through that down dog. I'm just going to pull my hair out of my face for a second. Okay. And then downward facing dog out to a high plank pose. So shift your weight out, breathe right there. Find the top of a push-up, long and strong from the crown of the head all the way down to your heels. Reach through your body. 2 and 1. On your exhale, lower to the mat. You can do this with the strength of your core and your arms, elbows tight, or you can drop your knees and just ease yourself down. Belly, chest, chin, all the way to the ground. You got it. Exhale there. On your next breath in, take a cobra. Smaller back bend than up dog, right? Elbows are still, hugging the ribs. Chest is up. Everything below the navel is connected to the ground. Think about a cobra. These postures have these names for a reason, right? Because they help us find the shape. So think about how a cobra lifts up their upper body. And then all the rest of the snake is still on the ground, right? Exhale. Release down. 2 more. Inhale. A little spine strengthening here. Now start to bring the back side of your body to life. A little help from the glutes. Engage. Pull the shoulder blades back and together. Exhale. Relax completely. 1 more time. Lift up. Roll back. Everything gets a good squeeze in. And then let it go. Press through the hands. Up and back. Child's pose. Hips to the heels. Put all of this together now. Inhale, shift forward. Make that little seal pose, up dog stretch. Toes lift toward the glutes. Good. Exhale, push back. Hips to the heels, roll up. Hands slide behind you, lift your heart. Half camel pose, just meaning that we're not all the way up on the knees. We're staying down so that we can open up the chest more. All the way down through the quads. Good. Rock forward, land on your hands and knees. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Exhale completely. From your down dog, inhale to high plank. Exhale, lower. Again, knees, chest, chin is just fine, or use the strength of your arms and your core. Get to the bottom, shoulders roll back 3 times. Lift, engage, squeeze everything in, and then completely relax it for a moment as you let go. Good. Again, 2. Less and less pressure in the hands. If you want to use more and more strength from the core and the spine, exhale down. We'll do it 1 more time. Inhale. Roll up, lift, elbows in tight. And exhale, release. Press through the palms, up and back. Full thing through once more, and then we'll add the full salutation on to the end. From your child's pose. And shift your weight forward. Staying on the knees, tilt the head back, lift the toes. Exhale, push back to child's. Tap the hips and heels together, roll up. Hands behind, half camel, lift the heart. Exhale, lower back down, rock to the hands and knees and tuck the toes. Inhale, hips high, press through your heels, press your heart closer to your thighs, and exhale completely in downward facing dog. High plank on the breath in. Elbows tight to the ribs as you lower, all the way to the ground. 3 times lift. Now, if you want to pick up your feet and your hands, start making this feel a little bit bigger, moving into locust pose variation, go for it. Any kind of spine strengthening work here on the belly for 2. And 1 more time, inhale, lift, breathe. Always okay to support the pose. Remember, I'm just giving you options. Exhale, let it go. Hands slide in. Take it back to your child's pose and exhale completely. Pause right there for 3. No tension in the back of the neck. Relax the jaw. Relax your cheekbones. Take your tongue off the roof of your mouth or the back of your teeth and just let some of that tension go. One more exhale. And then we'll come on up. Again, through tabletop pose just long enough to tuck the toes. Find your downward facing dog once again. And then we'll add, we're just going to do 3 sun salutations today, but we're going to take it through that warm-up variation as well. So we'll combine the 2. Inhale, look forward, step, walk, or hop to the top of your mat. Exhale, fold. We're also going to use a slightly different introduction to the sun salute. Inhale, lengthen again at the top of the mat. Instead of standing up on your exhale, do this crouching curl. Get really low. Squeeze everything in, chin to the chest, forehead to the knees. Start warming up the low belly, compressing the internal organs, doing some flushing of the system here. Not just good for the body as a whole, but particularly nice work for your metabolism, your elimination system, your digestive system. Bring your head up on your inhale. On your exhale, push into flat hands and feet if you can, even if that means bending your knees a little or a lot. Good. Half lift and lengthen. Step, walk, or hop, back and down. From that high plank, lower. Now this time you can take it all the way through to up dog or cobra, either one. Listen close. Instead of down dog, you put your knees down on the ground if they're not there already, and you press back to child's pose. Good. Inhale, then sit back on your heels. Put your hands behind you. Lift your heart. Lift your hips and breathe all the way down the front of the body. Exhale, lower down, rock to the hands, tuck the toes, hips up high. So you see it just sort of naturally comes together. Take a look forward from your down dog, step, walk, or hop. Back to the top and lengthen again. Exhale, fold. Once more, inhale. Not standing up, lift your heels, crouch and curl. Get low, squeeze everything in for 3. Now, if you're starting to feel good about this and you can take your hands off the ground, squeeze your inner thighs together, use your core strength, find your elbows. Do a little balancing work. This is great for strengthening up the muscles that support our ankles. Yeah. And the feet as well. This time of year when the terrain outside gets a little bit more risky, we start getting snow and ice on the ground, it's nice to have good strong ankles in case you do take a digger, right? Doesn't necessarily mean you're always going to hurt yourself. You've got a little strength and flexibility there. It goes a long ways. Hands down, hips up, push into flat hands and feet. Round out your back a little bit. Should feel like a cat stretch. Pull the navel in. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Take it through again. Step, walk, or hop. Good form as you lower down. Tight elbows right alongside the ribs. Halfway or all the way, your choice. Up dog or cobra. You can even set your knees down there, pull your toes up if you liked that seal version. They all work. And then child's pose is the release. Hips to the heels. Inhale, roll up. Hands behind. Exhale, lift the heart, lift the hips. Lots of repetition with this. The more you do it, the better it feels, the better result you get. Exhale, rock it forward. We'll go through the very last time, and then we're going to move on to a little low body sequence to finish things up today. Hips up nice and high. Okay, last time. Step, walk, hop, or float to the top of your mat and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Once again, lengthen out right here. Lift off your heels so that your thighs stay connected to your belly as much as possible. Pull it all in. Maybe you want to take this same version again. 3rd time's a charm. Maybe you want to bring your hands up to your heart and practice just bringing the crown of your head over the tailbone. Inner thighs are squeezing together here. I've got a little bit of lift between my booty and my heels so that my quads are engaged. Side body muscles working, pulling in and up. Uddiyana Bandha, behind. Mula Bandha, below the navel. Whew, working that balance. If you're an arm balance person, you've got another breath or two if you'd like to put your hands down. Elbows come on to the shins just below the knees. Ideally, those knees are as close to your armpits as possible. Gaze forward. Lift one foot, lift both. Take a little time for your crow. Just options, right? Lower back down. And then release. Press into the hands, press into the feet. Exhale completely. Back of the head relaxes. Inhale, lengthen. All right, last vinyasa. Step walk or hop it back. Come through to up dog. Lift your heart. Open. Exhale. Press back to downward facing dog. All the breath out. Take a look forward and step walk or hop through to a seated position. And when you land on the ground, let's just start, there we go, with a comfortable cross-legged pose. Right. And we'll go right shin in front, left closest to the body. Right. Knees might be a little bit wider than your hips. We don't want a real closed up pose here. Leave a little bit of space, heel in front of heel, knees out slightly wider. Take your hands out in front. Just do a real simple Sukhasana, forward fold. Round out through the shoulders. Again, take a moment. Check in. See if you're holding tension. The corners of your eyes, the corners of your mouth. I've been noticing lately that just from wearing my mask so much more than I ever have before, and I've been wearing my mask the whole time, but just having it on for 5 classes a day when I'm at the studio, this is kind of a nice release to be home. But my cheekbones get so sore just from, I make this kind of weird face under my mask sometimes. And so I've been noticing a lot more tension in my jaw and my facial muscles. And so it's often kind of a special treat to just use your tongue and push around sort of the inside of your cheeks, the space under the lower lip and around. Just stretch those muscles out. One more deep breath here. And then as you come up on your breath in, roll through the spine. You take that front shin, extend that leg out, and as you do, you'll pivot just slightly here. Left knee stays open. If you look down at your legs, they should look like tree pose, right? All right. And then turn back to the right. All right. So we're going to try to take the left hand to the outside edge of the right foot, or at least somewhere outside of the right leg if you can, and fold there. Just this tiny little stretch is going to add so much more up the left side body. So here's our regular Janu, straightforward. Today, we're doing this little twisted version. Might mean that you don't fold quite as deep, and that's okay. Great big lumbar spine stretch here as well. Lower half of the left side of your back. Keep softening up the back of the neck. Keep breathing deep. Three, 2, and 1. On your inhale, lift up. Good. Now we'll turn all the way to the other side. Put your right hand on your left knee and take a nice big spinal twist that goes all the way around until you're looking at the space behind you. Pull your navel in. Exhale. Rotate just a little bit deeper. Good. Again, sit up tall. Breathe. Exhale, twist. Once more. And let it go. As we come around to the front, we're going to leave this left leg exactly where it is, and we're going to swing the right leg behind us. Keeping a bend in your right knee for the first few moments here. This is the sort of broken wing pigeon pose, right? So we've got one knee bent, left shin is still across the front, and if you want to scoot your heel forward a little bit, really line that shin up with the front edge of your mat, go right ahead. Take it straight down onto the forearms and then just rotate as much of your chest and belly down as you can. So you're going to feel an intense amount of pressure in this left hip. It shouldn't be painful, it's just a compression, right? So getting a good squeeze all the way around the crease of that hip from the inside to the outside. It's a little bit different feeling than the full pigeon pose. We do have more weight on the left side. We'll go into the full pigeon here in a moment, and you'll feel that then we want to balance out. We want to redistribute the weight on both sides of the posture. So just leaning it to the left for 3, 2, exhale completely, all the breath out on 1. All right, now bring yourself up. And we're going to situate. We're going to lift up and now slide that right leg. And you can look back and make sure you get it where you want it. Knee straight down from the hip, ankle straight down from the knee. One nice long line straight back. Good. Heart center is up for the first moment or two. Make a little readjustment on this left side if you think you need to move things around. And then again, come forward and now try to keep the weight even between the two sides. Should feel like your right frontal hip bone is pulling down toward the ground. Good. Left side still getting probably a little bit deeper stretch, but you've brought that hip up off the mat. And relax. Three, 2, and 1. All right, come on up. Not a terribly long hold in any of these postures today. Good. We're going to take it from here, back to down dog, shake it out a little bit. Both feet back on the ground and exhale. Bring it out to high plank. I'm going to sneak just a tiny piece of core work in here for you so that you really feel like you had a well-balanced practice. Come on down to your forearms and just breathe. That's all we're going to do. Actively pushing the ground away, stretching those heels back. No booties way up high, no booties sagging down low, right? Just right there, straight down the middle. Like an arrow from the top of the head to the bottoms of the feet. 5, keep breathing. 4, really push the ground away. 3, see if you can maybe even find a little bit of that shake. That's a good thing, getting stronger. 2, and 1, lower to your knees, lower to your belly. Stretch your hands out in front and just make your whole body really long here for a moment. Palms can press together. Point your toes, and again, shoot some energy from your fingertips to your toes. Now you really look like an arrow shooting through the sky. This is a really powerful posture. Often just called prostration posed, meaning that you're as spread long as you can be. But it is a nice reminder that we need to lengthen out the sides of the body, the spine, the front, the back. Everything needs a little bit of work, and it feels good to just make yourself Really as expansive as you can be. And then release. Hands slide in. Take it back. Maybe you need child's pose for a moment. Release a little hip stretch. Good. Take it up. Through down dog and then jump it through. We'll do that whole thing on the other side and then we'll bring us right to Shavasana. We'll go left shin out front. This time, starting with a simple cross-legged pose. Folding in and rounding out. This is your first opportunity to just check. See how the hips feel, see how the low back feels. Check on yourself and make sure you're still breathing. Check on your mind and make sure you haven't let a whole bunch of unnecessary thoughts and to-do lists back in there. Just set that aside a little bit longer. Try to stay present. Try to stay right here, right now. 3. You can pull your chin all the way into your chest and really open up that back line of the neck. 2. 1 more exhale. And 1. All right, bring it up. Slowly sit back. Release your left leg out to the front. Right knee this time will open out to the side. So you're going to pivot the knee open, but we're not going to turn to the right. We're actually going to turn as far to the left as we can. Walking, hands to the outside, or maybe you're just trying to reach this outer left edge of your foot. Right side body's going to get the twist. And the further you walk your hands to the left, the more that statement will be true. 5. 4. So we're not just getting hips and hamstrings in here, we're also getting this really nice low back sequence. 3, 2, and 1. Come on up. And again, this would be a great time where, like, hey, if you want to stay and make this practice last 75 minutes, you can just hit the pause button. Stay in each of these postures for 5 minutes if you wanted to. 3 minutes, you know, whatever you've got. It's always up to you. Turn and now take your left hand to your right knee. Sit up really tall. You don't want to slouch and twist ever. It's always about lengthening, then rotating. Lengthening breath comes on the inhale. Exhales always for the twist. The deeper rotation, the compression, always on the breath out. 2 and 1. Take it around. And as you face off to the front, we're going to leave this right leg, swing the left one behind. Almost took us the other way. Here's your broken wing pigeon. Left leg is your little broken wing. Right shin can move forward a tad as you readjust, lining that shin up to be parallel with the front edge of your mat. Come straight over the pose. Forward, both elbows or forearms on the ground. If you can't get your forearms on the ground, stay on your palms. And now the compression is definitely happening in the right hip. You can feel that. And if you can't, lean on it a little more. To reiterate, this is not meant to be painful, just a little bit of intensity. Intensity and pain are different, right? Intensity, we can breathe. We can stay with the sensation. We don't want out necessarily. Pain, usually it's difficult to breathe, it's difficult to focus, and you know what pain feels like in your body. So if that's true, make an adjustment or don't lean so deep into the pose. You can just sit upright. Nice breath in. Lift your chest up a tad. Now, pull up and swing that left leg straight back. Here's your full half pigeon. Kind of a funny thing to say, full half, but this is the extended version of the half pigeon. So now look back, make sure that left leg is straight from the hip bone down to the ankle bone, and then do your best now to even out. I'm pulling left frontal hip bone down toward the mat, or in my case, my right ankle bone is kind of underneath of me, so I can think about those two bones pulling toward one another. Two, and one. All right, take your time. As you press up, if you want to go back to downward facing dog, you sure can. You can shake it out there, or you can just sit down on your right hip, swing both legs around. That's what I'm going to do. Down dogs, take your time back there. You'll jump through and meet us when you're ready. When you do get to a forward fold, reach for your toes. Should feel nice to just have both legs lengthened out. And then we're going to roll down onto our backs, slow and steady. You can just take it straight down. When you get to the bottom, right knee gets a quick squeeze. Right knee comes across the body for a really brief little twist here. Just enough to feel it. And then release, switch. Left knee comes in for the squeeze. Enough little rotation. To get last tiny little pop out of your low back. That's what happened to me. That felt great. Whew. And then take it into Shavasana. Nothing left to do, just relax. Pick a place that feels good in your body. Slow down your breath. Allow yourself this time to just simply soak up a sense of satisfaction, contentment, relaxation. All right, you are always more than welcome to please. I encourage you, stay where you're at. I'm just going to wish you a happy Wednesday and say thanks for hopping on. Continue to take good care of your bodies. Those of you who are taking classes online with me on the regular, whether you're doing it now or on the YouTube, I do appreciate those donations from time to time. They do make a great big difference. So if you've it's been a little while and you've got the means to do so, always appreciate it. Otherwise, just keep doing what works for you. And hopefully we'll see each other soon. Have a great day. Namaste.